Hi, everybody. It is September 11th, 2024. It's about 7:20 in the morning Central Standard Time. So, just a reminder, everything is for entertainment purposes only. I am a clairvoyant, clairaudient, so the messages I get from the universe, hey, it's for entertainment, so please do your own research, form your own opinions. Uh, think for yourselves. Don't follow the propaganda that's being rammed down so many people's throats these days. It's just disgusting. Yeah, in the description box, you are going to find the full disclaimer, um, the email address if you want to get in touch with me for a private reading, the buy me a coffee, the tip jar. I do have to tuck in there more information pertaining to what the memberships are. So if you want to join, what the perks are, but they do include one-on-one time readings and so forth. And yeah, just some crazy stuff is going on. And for the time being, because of the nonsense and because I've got a lot of other things, I do have a life outside of YouTube. I'm going to be doing just direct uploads, and then on the weekend, most likely now on Sundays, I will be doing the live. So, hey, uh, Sunday mornings will be the live broadcast. So get everything on the same page and direct uploads during the week. I'm sorry that some people are going to be missing out. They like the premiere, they like the chat stream, but um, there's too much going on in my personal world and the real world. And I'm really sick and tired of all the backbiting bullshit nonsense that's going on, especially in one genre of YouTube channels. So I'm just like, hey, this is my channel, and a lot of people were making suggestions. Oh, you should be doing it this way or that way. And I'm like, wait a second. No, this is mine, not yours. I'm going to handle it the way I want to do it. So be it. Yeah, today we're coming up close to the time when something really horrible happened 23 years ago. But please remember that there is foreshadowing, and actually Hollywood did foreshadow what would happen, because they back in the 80s, early 90s, I can't remember the exact date, but there was a movie that came out that starred Tyne Daly, and it was the story of a school teacher who had a field trip to the Twin Towers, and that's when the bomb went off in the parking area, and she was trapped on the roof with a bunch of kids. Well, the last scene of that made-for-TV movie was the evil person saying, next time we won't fail, or something to that. So Hollywood basically gave us foreshadowing of what would happen. Yes, the filmmakers out there have been giving us advanced knowledge of stuff for basically over 100 years. Yes, I mean, the film industry actually started in around the 1900s. There was industry in England. Here in the States, it was New York and Chicago, and then after World War I, after 1918 and stuff, a lot of it moved out to California because they had consistent nice weather, so they had the sunlight to film. But what's been coming out of there has been foreshadowing for ages. I mean, take a look at Charlie Chaplin's movie, The Dictator. I mean, that rattled a ton of cages, okay? Mm, rattled many, many cages. And yeah, the TV show Mission Impossible was based on old stories from a 3-letter agency. And take a look at the stuff that you really have to scour to find the real intriguing stories that were written by Rod Sterling and the people. There's a few episodes of The X-Files that they were broadcast once, and you basically, to get a copy of it, you might have to buy a bootleg copy from somebody else off the internet because they were so close to hitting home. But yeah, it's 23 years ago, 7:26 in the morning, Central Standard Time. That's when the first hit. I remember that morning I was at home, and I had the TV news on. I had on the Today Show. And all of a sudden I cut to what was happening, a live feed. And I was typing away online with somebody in the East Coast in New York. And then all of a sudden the person I was chatting back and forth with, this is the days of AOL and CompuServe. She was in an office, and I was here in Chicago, and I saw, literally, they showed another projectile going into the other building. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm typing, I'm like, get your ass out of there now. And she's like, what happened? I go, the other building is going to collapse. Get the hell out of Dodge. So, I remember when my dad walked in the room saying, yeah, they killed him, referring to Kennedy. I remember my parents saying something, well, I guess she's going to go marry the Greek now for protection, referring to Jackie Bouvier. And then after what happened in June of '68, with her brother-in-law being taken down. And then it's like, hey, last night, some stupid little idiot claims that what happened on January 6th of 2021 was a bigger disaster than what happened on September 11th, 2001. Do you really want a woman who is nothing but the puppet of an extreme Muslim, a puppet of actually Iran, running our country? Yeah. The debate last night, Cami poop? First question tossed at her was the economy. She didn't answer the question. All she did was toss out word salad. I mean, this foul piece of who is wasting oxygen, doesn't even have common decency to acknowledge the people that passed away that day, that crossed over. I mean, I have little cousins who are part of, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, who are first responders. In memory, and actually to raise funds for the families who lost significant others on that day. There are still first responders that do charity runs, charity climbs, to help the families who lost their big major breadwinner. And people forget Rudy Giuliani. How, for the next couple of years, he was basically busy every weekend because a lot of young ladies lost their fathers. and they were planning their weddings. Rudy Giuliani escorted several women down the aisle, stepping in for where, since their fathers were no longer there. That's the kind of guy Giuliani is. And he did it all quietly. It was strictly word of mouth. First responders talked to others and it just spread. And New York's mayor, Giuliani, stepped in and was there for all those young women. But people don't hear about that. They just hear the donkey propaganda of how horrible he is and how he's affiliated with the Orange Man. People also don't hear of how the Trump organization stepped up and helped a lot of those families and is still assisting the families and the children that were born not knowing their fathers. People don't realize it, but there's private scholarships available for those kids. And there's financial aid is available. People don't realize it. And a lot of it is through charities and foundations that can be traced back to Donald Trump. This is a man who loves America. While last night's farce, it's so ironic they had it on the television network that is basically part of the Mouse organization. And who's running the Mouse organization but a Kennedy? Yes, one of the evil Kennedy kids that basically disowned her brother because, yeah, Bobby Jr. is an independent thinker and realizes the scum of the Democratic Party and is aligning himself with Donald Trump. So, of course, the network that's basically overrun by his sister had to try to make a mockery of Donald Trump. And it's so ironic. Go back and dig into the family history of Bobby Kennedy's wife, Ethel Skakel Kennedy. Ethel Skakel was raised by conservative Republican parents. Yeah. And, yeah, the Kennedys were looking for chicks who had their own money. And Ethel Skakel was the second choice because old Joe Kennedy initially wanted Bobby to be attached to one of Ethel's sisters, but when Bobby was sent overseas for across the pond for an extended period of time, Ethel's sister smartened up and said, "No way," and got hitched to another dude. So then Ethel was the second choice. So, of course, she had to be such a loyal Democrat Kennedy. Yeah, she turned her back on her entire family, on the values that she was raised with. So, no wonder. That explains why the Kennedy kids, the Bobby Kennedy kids, it's so easy for them to turn their back on a sibling. It's disgusting. But remember, hey, we see, Billy Kennedy Smith running around Chicago. We see Chris Kennedy running around the area. Walk up to them, especially Chris Kennedy. He still has stuff dealing with the Merchandise Mart. If you see him, and he lives in one of the towns up where Sheridan Road drives through, see him running around, it's kind of like, ask him why. The grandson of Republicans He's turning his back on his brother. Ask him. Yeah, they're around. It's disgusting. And yeah, I did watch the debate last night. I was laughing with friends and we were texting back and forth, and it's kind of a joke. We all are like sitting back going, okay, so what is your beverage of choice to get you through tonight? A couple people were bottle of good beer. Another one sent me, she's gin and tonics. I mean, I had the basic highball whiskey and sweet soda. It's like, God, we needed this or else. I wonder how many people did the Elvis to the TV when Cammy was cackling away. And people are going to be asking, hey, was she fed the questions ahead of time? Of course she was. The spin doctors needed to create word salad for every single situation. Yeah, they are. Any Democrat politician right now, take a moment and realize all they're doing is filibuster. They're using the process of filibuster to toss out word salad to get people from realizing they're not answering the question. The first question, what are you going to do about the economy? She never answered that question. She doesn't answer any questions. It's all garbage coming out of her mouth. Yeah. And of course, it was on, like I said, it was on the network being run by a communist Kennedy. Maybe, hey, it's I think one of the next debates, maybe they should just pick some random person here in the United States who has a social media channel, pick them out of the hat of millions of us, and do the debate via like StreamYard, like I use for my live streams, and use that as the debate platform, and have a collection of other content creators be the moderators. I think that would be a very fair debate. But that wouldn't allow the evil ones to control the narrative. People, do you want to watch the further destruction of the American way of life? Cammy Poop is just nothing but the puppet of the extreme Muslims who want to destroy Western culture. Obama takes his marching orders from Tehran. And don't be surprised as the next thing you see is Cammy Poop being shown wearing a hijab and a niqab, covering her hair. That's what they're wanting. Big time. So we just have to stay strong, keep our eyes open, and start thinking, start connecting the dots. How in 2018 through summer of 2019, what was your life like? Were you able to put money in the bank? Were you comfortable? Could you afford to go out for dinner once a week? Can you do those things now? No. Because the evil ones, hey, they could have, they knew that stuff was released from a building in the Big Red Sea. They could have stopped, closed their borders to stop the spread. But it was absolute intentional. That faux flu was just a means to an end to start the destruction. Because you don't need to have guys in uniforms with pow-pows going boom boom all over the place to create a WAR. All it took was them to release some vials of a virus. And that's what kicked off the world WAR number 3. We've actually been fighting this since the second half of 2019. Ironic. Basically 100 years after the end of the first one. They started planning this when Hilly didn't get into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah. That's when they really started this nonsense. And we have to wake up, smell the coffee. And if it means everyone has to come bonfire night, Guy Fawkes night here in the States, people need to start standing outside of every single polling place and literally asking people who they voted for and make sure the numbers match. And also file civil suits, class action suits, because they didn't follow the rules of election. You're supposed to be nominated via the primary system, and she was just zapped onto those ballots. And you know what? We need to go and ask the companies that print the ballots, when were they informed of the change in typesetting? Yeah. When were they told to take JoJo's name off the ballot and print it with Cami Poo? Because there's how many millions of ballots need to be printed all over the place? When did these printing companies get the information of the change in name? That's my question. I bet it was way before they made that announcement. Let's see the actual proofs from the printing companies that the DNC signed off on. Let's see and when the dates are. Now for some other stuff. Hey, keep your eye on what Erdogan is doing over in Turkey, because he is, with the help of Tehran, and I know he's been in contact with Barry Soetoro. Yeah, they're prepping all sorts of people who pray 5 times a day to go after anyone who has any affiliation with Israel. Yeah, the Turks, I was always told, don't trust a Turk. They're the troublemakers. And the other one, now they're also getting to have a fit because someone brought up in Congress to ban the importation of the drones that are made in the Big Red Sea. Because those little computerized things, yeah, people hook them up to their phones or PCs. Anything that's made basically in the Big Red Sea is giving all your private information back to the Big Red Sea. So everything that those drones see is going to a server bank somewhere in the Big Red Sea. So some people are having a fit now, but they're trying to ban the importation of the drones from the Big Red Sea. If you've got one, it's like, Uh, you might want to pick up a secondary electronic device, have it loaded up with all the correct kind of software to protect your ass, and do all your financial stuff on that, and have your drone crap on something else. Social media on one, and actual real personal stuff on a second electronic. And don't let them morph together. Don't let them. I mean, it's a constant battle having to stop file sharing and the stuff morphing together. It's just a pain in the ass. Now, some people went off on the deep end yesterday, but yeah, we did lose James Earl Jones over the weekend. The real Darth Vader. He was a groundbreaker, but hey, 93. He can actually do more good from where he's at now than being boots on the ground. And so, well, I've rambled for a while and pulled up some stuff and gave people some information. Please take the time today to remember everyone we lost 23 years ago. Try not to get sick while you're watching the replays of the debate. But realize that network is run by a Kennedy, the sibling of RFK Jr. So, of course, because their brother aligned himself with Donald Trump, they have to make Donald Trump look as horrible as possible. Blame it on the Kennedys. Yeah. And you know what? I bet old Joe Kennedy is rolling in his grave right now because this is not what he wanted his family to be or do. And yeah, Obama is the puppet master of Cami Poop. And she is a hypocrite. She admitted it. She goes, she's not going to let anybody take her pow-pows, but she wants to take yours. Who else acted like that? Remember? A dude by the name of Adolf. She's an evil one. She is an evil one. So keep an eye out. I'll have a couple more direct uploads popping up. And then Sunday, Sunday morning, the 15th, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be live. Catch you later, folks. Bye.